Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. Today I'm going to share something that I discovered as I was playing around with wax seals. And I used to think it was they were just for letters, and in these days we don't send a lot of letters, but they work obviously on invitations and that sort of thing as well. However, I was looking for different ways to use these beautiful pieces I received from a company called CRICUT, who gifted them to me, and I'm really happy to show you some things you can do with them. Now, if you're wondering why in the start of my video I was painting a little and I'm out in my garden, it's just kind of how I work. When just so you know, if you're interested, that life as an artist has a lot of facets. So sometimes I'm painting a little bit and then I have to wait for paint to dry, so I go work on producing some products for my shops, and while my computer's thinking or I'm thinking, then I'll come and work on a video. So that's what I'm doing today, a little bit of everything. But I really wanted to share these ideas for using wax seals in art projects, in your journal, in all kinds of ways. So let's get started on that and see what we can find out. Okay, to start with, I have a couple of little handles here for my stamps. Some of these things I had before because I kind of collect things like this. You have to light your candle if you're using one of these melters. Now, there are sticks you can use in a glue gun, which I think are brilliant. I just don't happen to have any. So how this works is you light your candle, put the little stove over it. This kind of reminds me of camping. And then the little spoon goes on top of that and it heats from underneath. And the products that I'm looking at today is this beautiful set of pastels. Some of them, I guess this one is the only one that's a little bit iridescent or metallic, but I love pastel colors and I thought it would be fun to use some of these. And I've got 4 stamps that I chose. This is olive branch, and then we've got sunlight, moonlight, or something like that, and then just a pattern which I thought was so pretty. And I love this one. It says handmade. So I'm going to use a few different ones like that. So to start with, if you're a total beginner at this, I'm just going to show you how you can just use them on an envelope. Now I'm using one of these handy popsicle sticks, or craft sticks I guess you call them, just to help with things. And you can see how quickly that melts. So it's already starting to melt, and what I do is just press it down so that the hard part gets on the metal faster. So I'll just let that sit there, and I'm going to start with this olive branch one. Now I have several other stamps, but I'm just going to use this set for this video because I want to just showcase these products. I have a link below that you can use if you are interested in purchasing any. One thing I noticed happens with using this method is, well, one thing is I'm right-handed. I wish the little spout was on the other side because then I could scrape it out that way. But it doesn't really matter because I'm going to take this. I like to scrape it out of the little basin because a lot of it stays in there and I feel like you kind of lose it. And all you have to do then is just place your stamp over top of it. Try to get it as even as possible. And if you've got raw edges, no big deal. So that's one way to do it. Sometimes I use more than one if I want to have it a little bit bigger, and we'll do that too. So there's one idea for you. You probably noticed at the start I went outside and I picked some flowers from my garden, and these are petals. This is from the viburnum. These little green ones as well. Plus there were some dry ones. And this is from a hydrangea. And these are from a hanging basket. I'm not really sure what those flowers are. But here's another idea. I've got a piece of paper here that's actually palette paper for acrylic paint. And it tends to Once they're dry, you can usually just peel them right off. So for this one, I'm going to use one of these, and I'm going to just take the stem off so that it will just lie really flat. And I think I'll use this pink. Now there's still a little bit of wax on this, and I need paper towel. If I wanted to, I could mix this, just put the pink on top of this lavender and let them mix, but I don't want to do that for this. So I'm just going to wipe this out like that. And I want to use 2 of these this time so that there's more volume. Now I've got a little green one here. There's so many colors in my viburnum this year. Like, look at this, green with pink edges. So you could do all kinds of things, but I'm going to use this one this time. You can also use artificial plants for this. I'm going to use a fresh one because that's what I have. This is a dry one, which would also be nice on something like place cards. This is pretty fragile, so you know it might not last very well, but if you're just putting it on a place card or a napkin ring or something like that, and it's going to be used right away and then tossed after you're finished, then it doesn't really matter all that much. All right, for this one, I'm going to just pour it. That. Put my flower in it. And I'm going to use this stamp. I should have got it ready, but see how cool that is? I love it. Okay, I might use another one of these just to demonstrate a little bit later, but let's try some other things. Now I still have some pink in there because I didn't really need to use it all. So what I want to do is add a different pink and maybe get a little bit of a swirl. And here's another idea. This is rickrack. Can take a little piece like this. I could glue it down if I wanted to. Not really necessary. I just have to check my flame and make sure it's still burning. And again, I'm going to just pour it over the top of this. I'm even going to move it around a little bit because it didn't land very well. Put that back there. And then use my stamp. And there you can see the variation in the pink. It's a little bit close in color, but that's okay. So there's another idea that you can use on the back of an envelope, or you know, whatever you like. And I've got different ribbons like this, simple things like that. You can easily do this kind of thing. Now another idea that you can use is for packaging. So I've got this one. I've just wrapped up a little book, and I'm going to just clean this out so that my colors don't mix. Being careful not to burn my fingers. And I think I'll use yellow. So I'll just drop those in there. And I'm going to put on the handmade stamp. Because if I'm giving a gift that's handmade, which this isn't, it's just for demonstration, then I would want the recipient to appreciate that. This is a really soft, creamy yellow. The nice thing about using a little pot like this to melt your wax is that you can use a different color. If you're doing lots of different things at once, you can just wipe it out like I've been doing, and then you put in a different color. Whereas if you use something different like a stick, you've got to have one color at a time in it and use that up basically before you change it over to a different color, or else have a whole bunch of glue sticks or glue guns, which would work as well. So here's my handmade stamp. I'm going to take my little stick here, and I'm putting it right on the knot. And it will run around, so be aware that it might not land in a perfect circle. sure I've got this going the right direction. But with the twine, it makes kind of a fun shape. There. So that so dresses up a gift, doesn't it? I love that idea. Okay, here's another one. I'm going to use an envelope this time. I want to use some of these different colors. Just make sure my little pot is above the flame. It gets pretty hot, so you have to be careful. While that's working there, I'm going to get out one of these little ribbon roses in a pale blue. I have some in here somewhere. I'm just going to pour it on here. A couple of little drops won't matter. And instead of using a stamp, I'm just going to press this rose into the wax and let it dry. So this is an idea you can again use on table decor and gift wrapping and things like that. Now another idea that I've used quite a bit is in my journals. This is a glue book journal that I've been working on for some time. So I place them here, and what I do is I'll just make a whole bunch of them on a sheet of parchment paper or something like this, and then pop them off, and when I want to use them I just glue them in. So let me see if I can find, there's another one I used with a rose, and then I've used some in this book as well, here and there. And this book is a work in progress. So you can see here, I've got a couple that work with the pages and the design. So I thought what I would do is, isn't that pretty? I love that one. I thought what I would do is add one here. And I'm going to use this palest pink and put a couple of them in because I like to have a lot of stuff squishing out on the outside. And also I've got this trim, which I bought a long time ago, that I thought maybe I'll use some of this. Just take off this little end. Put that down there. I don't want the handmade one this time. And I don't think I want that one. I think I'll use this one with the leaves. So when I'm finished this, I'm going to be working on formatting some more of my watercolors to go on products in my Etsy shop. The link is below, and I've got ongoing sales. I kind of do them periodically. So please take a moment and click on my link and go see what's going on over there, because my shop is growing every day. Okay, I think I need a new craft stick here. That one's getting a bit gummed up. Now I'm going to clip this page down because it wants to bounce, and I don't want that. I'm going to make it just a little bit off center so that the leaves show on both sides there. Place this here. See what I mean about having it squish out? Gotta wait till it actually cools and then it'll pop off quite easily. There. Isn't that pretty? I mean, just that little touch of gold on that page just makes it. Alright, here is another idea that I came up with that I think you'll like. Let's do another envelope. Is it an envelope or an envelope? Depends. Depends where you are and what you're used to saying. So I have here a whole bunch of black and white stickers that I haven't even opened yet. So let's take them out and have a look if I can get in here. I'll never get them back in, so that kind of means I have to find a new home for them. Now, for this one, there's all all these flowers. And I want them to show quite a bit. So this one I think I'll use because it's got a lot of flower here, but not much going on here. I want to see what this hydrangea looks like. It's kind of stuck on something here. That one is really pretty. Actually, maybe I'll use it. No, I don't think so. I think this is a better choice. So the way to get these off, their backing, which is this slick stuff here, if you try and get your thumbnail through here, it'll make you crazy because you can't. You have to just hold it like this and rub your thumb over the edge. Pick an edge and then rub your thumb over it toward the front. And it'll catch on your skin. So that is the secret. Now, I'm going to use a little bit of a mixture here because I already have pink in there. So I'm going to throw in this green so that we get a little bit of a mottled or marbling kind of effect. I'll place this down here. Make sure it's good and stuck. And I think I will use, maybe I'll use this pattern one again. Alright, let's just pour this out in the blob right along there, base of the envelope. I don't know if you're an envelope or an envelope person. I'm an envelope person, even though I can speak some French, and it would be envelope. There, that left a bit of a raw edge. I would probably use a bit more, but I think it still looks gorgeous. It's so pretty. So, there are some great fun ideas to make things with wax seals. There, I hope you enjoyed getting some new ideas for what to do with wax seals. Really, you're only limited by your imagination. And there are blogs and videos where you can get more ideas, but it's so fun. Be sure to check below for the link that I have for Craftspire, where they have like hundreds of stamp ideas and lots of wax, and I think you'll love it. So go have a look over there. Also, be sure to subscribe to my channel and click the little bell because that will give you the notifications when I have new videos. And please leave a comment. Tell me if you liked what you saw and if you can use these ideas in your projects. And I'll see you next time.